Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we're going to be looking at a subscription service, and that is specifically My Mind Rocks by Looch. So we've previously seen two of his products that I really loved, and now if you did like those products or you were interested by those and you're willing to know kind of what Looch does as well separately in a more close-up environments or more casual environments as well, this subscription is for you. It is fully mentalism based and I think it is very good, and I can't wait to unpack it for you. So let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn about My Mind Rocks. So what is My Mind Rocks? It's as kind of the trend now in magic. It's a monthly subscription based around mentalism. So every month you're gonna get mentalism content, you're gonna get live sessions based around mentalism and based around Looch's professional material. And as I always do with these type of things, I'm not gonna perform anything for you, but I'm gonna unpack all the material that you have in the subscription up until this point. So what do you get in My Mind Rocks? So essentially here I took notes. So you're gonna get up until this point, which is January of 2024, you have 6 main routines, then you have a bunch of live extra mentalism toolbox videos and live lectures and talks. So the first thing that you get is a routine called Intuitive AI, which is kind of an effect that uses playing cards, a memory demo, and a specific reveal. So it's essentially, you can either use this with cards with images or just playing cards, where you're gonna show a memory demonstration with your spectator, and then at the end, you're gonna have a very cool reveal. Then you have the dealer, which is a very good intuition test. So this is something that he put also in his Penguin Mark deck video from quite a while back that I also reviewed. And this is kind of the updated handling, a better explained handling, where a spectator is gonna fully shuffle a deck of cards. You're gonna deal cards in a pile. He's gonna say stop, then you're gonna remove. You're gonna keep dealing up until they end on one card, and they make every choice from top to bottom, and they will end up on their thought of card from a fully shuffled deck by them. Then you have the hustler routine, which is essentially a kind of a patio force. It's the way that he uses that force, but if you're not really fond of that, for example, he uses billiard balls. That's not something that I would personally use, but it did inspire me to use other things as well. So you're gonna get kind of a way to use the patio force in a very original way. Then you're gonna get a dice routine, which is his professional grade dice routine that uses a Pro Mystic dice. It's very well built, it's very good. You can also use the Anverti die or any other die or gimmick that is in that area. It is a very good routine. Then he's going to give you a peak device that you can make very simply. It's going to take you around 10-ish minutes to make, and it's going to be a very cool peak device that you can have with you at all time. It's very interesting. And then you're going to have my personal favorite routine of the bunch, which is a nod to pocket watch. It's essentially a double prediction of something that someone just randomly names, thought of a random word, and then something that is predestined. It's a brilliantly structured routine. It is very good, and I do it now on the daily. Then on top of that, you're going to get your live sessions, which are with members of the group where you're going to talk, etc. And then you also get live performances. For every single one of these routines, you get live performances. Some of them you get live breakdowns, and some of them you even get some additional ideas and thoughts. And then you also get, one of the things that I find really fun about this is the Mentalism Toolbox, which is a section where every month he brings in a special guest to talk about a specific topic of mentalism. So for example, you have Ian Rowland talking about cold reading, you have Mark Paul talking about billets, you have Moreau Dante talking about equivoke. You have different people that come in to talk about different topics. And the latest one for January is channeling. So this is, to me, this is basically like a full-on effect. It's brilliant. He gives you a PDF, a full 2-hour talk, and it goes over this concept of mentalism that I kind of knew but never really knew what it was called and how it was applied. And it's absolutely fantastic. It was so good. And I count it as an additional effect because this is something that you can use impromptu in any routine that you do, and it's fantastic. So essentially with My Mind Rocks, that is what you get. You're getting a performance for every month. You're getting a performance or multiple performances, depending. You're getting the tutorial, the explanation, you're getting possibly additional tutorials, then you're getting your live session, your mentalism toolbox, and you get access to a group where you can chat with other people, share ideas, etc. And on top of all this, you get 20% off out of everything at Looch's Read My Mind store. So if you're interested in, for example, frameworks or prop loops or any other of his products or upcoming products, all of them are going to be 20% off. So that is what you get with My Mind Rocks. So knowing this, where do you subscribe? How much does it cost? And what do you get? So you can subscribe directly on My Mind Rocks. It's going to set you back £16, which is around 28.30 Canadian per month. Or you can do quarterly or annually subscriptions as well. You're going to save a bit of money if you do that. And what you get is what I described for you right now. So knowing this, what is the difficulty of the material in the subscription? So most of the material here, I would say, is between beginner to intermediate. So none of this material is something excruciatingly hard, but you know, some of it is a bit more intermediate level than others. But even then, I think the balance is very well spread out. It's also very well spread out in terms of props. There's only one routine that requires you to buy an expensive prop, and he said it's probably going to be the only one, but it is his most requested, sought after routine, so I decided to put it here, even though it requires a prop that will cost some money. But apart from that, most of this is with either a deck of cards or a deck of picture cards that you already own, or with just billets, or with kind of a gimmick that you make yourself, or with envelopes. So depending on what you do, some of it is even propless, right? The channeling I told you is that I loved is propless. So all of this material is very well ranged as well, which I really like. It's not just billets. It's not just stage material. It's close-up material, stage material, in-between material, table hopping material. It is split very well between all of these different franchises. So I think it is very good in terms of difficulty level, but also practicality and performance style, which we're going to get into now. So what is the practicality of this material? As with subscriptions, the material here is varied, but most of it is very practical. I would say that all of this material can be done in parlor settings, but also in close-up settings, and some of it and a lot of it in table hopping settings. Because what I really like is in the tutorials, in the performances of them, of the effects, a lot of the times he shows you maybe a stage performance or parlor performance, but then he also shows you in the trenches, wedding performance or walk around performance or restaurant or a casual one in a coffee shop, which really shows the extent of the effects and how they can play in different settings. So they are very practical effects, and most of them don't ask you to carry around a lot. Some just a billets and a pen, some a stack of billets and a pen. Some of them require you maybe to have your phone, some of them require you maybe to have a small prop. One of them maybe requires you a deck of cards, but none of them require you to have any intricate setups or anything like this. Most of it is just a small thing that you carry around with you anyway, and you have a routine with it, which is very nice. In terms of angles, practicality, repeatability, most of the material here is repeatable, is redoable, is also practical, is resettable very quickly, and the angles for pretty much all of the routines, or most of the routines, are also almost 360. So the routines here are very practical, and you can see that Looch has done them for an incredibly long time, because they're basically foolproof routines that are really road tested and really good in terms of practicality. They're really well taught through. So moving on now to where do you perform? So where do you perform these routines? I've already hinted at that, but most of the routines that you're gonna get here can be done parlor, stage, walk around, table hopping. Some of them you could even possibly do on Zoom. So it really is a good range of effects that you're getting here that are going to apply to different types of mentalist performers. So if you're just someone that does table hopping, you're going to find material here for you. If you're someone that just does stage, you're going to find some material and some principles here that apply to you. So it's very, very well balanced out in this regard. Knowing now all of this about My Mind Rocks, what are the positives and negatives? Let's get into the negatives first. So what are the negatives of My Mind Rocks? The only negative that I could say about My Mind Rocks is that if you're someone that lives in a completely different time zone to the UK, maybe attending the live kind of Zoom sessions, etc., is going to be a bit hard. He is trying to kind of adapt it and make it possible for people to join and make different time zones and different types of events for people to get together, which is really cool. But that is something that you do have to keep in mind. But again, even if you don't, the live It's recorded, so it's always going to be in your account, and you're going to be able to access it if ever routines are shared or things are shared. It's going to be there, and you're going to be able to access it. However, now moving into the positives. One, it is very well structured. The design of the course is really good. You can clearly see that Looch was a teacher. It's very well designed. Routines are really well explained. The material is great. It's practical. It can be done in a lot of scenarios. It's fooling material. It's road tested. And you can really see that this is really pure kind of workable material. You're not getting any of these months. You're not really getting a throwaway thing that he just had at the bottom of his drawer, took out and just threw out at you. You're really getting workable material here. Having said all this, would I recommend My Mind Rocks, and what do I rate it out of 10? Would I recommend it? And yes, I think if you're into mentalism, I would recommend My Mind Rocks. Personally, at the current point in time, I was subscribed for a month. I was not able to continue because until April, I'm in a very difficult time. It's basically the end of my master's and I'm overflowing with things to do and I can't keep up with it. So I am not still subscribed, but I will subscribe once April stops. I'm looking forward to go into the community, go back there and get to know the people, get to introduce myself and really be part of the community. But for the time I was there, I really enjoyed what I saw and I think that it is really worthwhile. So yes, I do recommend it and I think you are going to be happy with being within that community. If you want to learn more about this in more detail monthly, there's Mentalist on a Shoestring on his YouTube channel that does kind of monthly updates of My Mind Rocks with the new routine, the new concepts, and how everything is evolving. So for sure, check that out if you are interested. I think that could be very cool for you if you want an external opinion as well. I think that is very nice as well. But yes, I do recommend it. And what would I rate the subscription service out of 10? I would give it a 9.25 on 10. It is very good. It is something that I'm going to revisit 100%. And yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Thank you everyone for watching. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down below. If not, I'll see you all in my next review. Have a great one and bye-bye.